The coolest throw of the weekend happened before the game.
AFC Championship game, not even thinking about you guys. How much did that motivate you coming into this?
You better send those refunds.
Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon. Unlike Chris Collinsworth, I'll be able to make it through this video with only one pair of pants. Perna. Now, some people make broadcasting look easy. Matt Ryan is a natural because he knows his audience. He can adapt on the fly. For some people like Rob Gronkowski, it can be an uphill battle when you simply don't know how to pronounce names.
Their offense is the real deal, led by head coach Nick Sirianni and offensive coordinator Shane Spikeman.
I'm about to do both. I am Matt Gronkowski, or Rob Ryan.
Try to name a coach in the NFL with better hair than you. Don't worry.
That'd be hard. That'd be hard.
Yeah, I'm Rob Ryan. This weekend, we took the 8 best teams in the NFL and whittled them down to just 4. The Jags, the Giants, the Bills, and the Cowboys, they're all going home. Only the Chiefs, Eagles, Bengals, and Niners remain. The Chiefs did not want to see 2 teams in the playoffs. Well, good news, Kansas City, you won't see the Colts there. Bad news, you got the Bengals. Was it a great weekend of football? Not really, to be honest, but I'm going to try and make it look a lot better than it was. Today on Let's Get Sports. Real quick, subscribe here, and if you haven't checked out my coffee company, BenchwarmerBrew.com, feel free to do so for craft grade coffee. And this last week we launched the Losers Blend for all the losing teams fans out there. So if you're a Cowboys fan, if you're a Bills fan, if you're a Jags fan and a Giants fan and you want to taste losing in your mouth, my best official was this guy who told everybody to shut up.
Henny got hit.
Everybody shut up.
Okay. That was the official's microphone.
This is why we need a weekly mic'd up on the refs, not just the players. My best QB? Well, this was pretty easy choice for me. I'll say Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts were very solid number 2s. Had Hurts done more on the ground, this could have been his. But what I watched Patrick Mahomes do on one ankle was pretty fucking crazy. The only quarterback who had a higher passer rating than Mahomes was his teammate Chad Henne, filling in for him while the NFL doctors injected him with very strong pain-killing medication, commonly known as Toradol, which Patrick Mahomes also uses when he goes home to deal with his family. Regardless, Mahomes showed how much he wanted to be out there. The anti-Jay Cutler, if you will, got back out there, and then outside of his one throw to the dirt and a miss to Kelce, made the Chargers defense look lost. You could tell he was in pain. He was slower than normal, and the Jags still couldn't sack him. They still refused to cover Travis Kelce, who gets my best individual performer award. Kelce did not break 100 receiving yards, but he made pretty much every important catch for the Chiefs. Hell, his 14 receptions were more than all the other Chiefs ball catchers combined. Kelce was also the only player all weekend to have more than 1 touchdown. He had 2, and not a single receiver or back had more than 1. The important award, though, from this game was my worst announcer, Chris Collinsworth. You may be Collins the game, but his analysis ain't worth shit. Like most sane football fans, I thought Patrick Mahomes playing through his ankle sprain and getting that win was pretty incredible. But as many pointed out, old Chris Collinsworth may have had Mahomes' jumbo-sized ketchup bottle all the way down his throat, because only Collinsworth would say this about this play.
Field goal attempt.
That was a heck of a play by Mahomes right there.
Now here's a guy who doesn't know what he's saying. Now to make matters worse, he called this dime by Trevor Lawrence an overthrow.
And this week,
It's a big ball for Kirk downfield, and he couldn't bring it in.
And the last thing you think you're going to do is overthrow him 60-something yards away. It's exactly what he did.
Now the Jags look like they might make a comeback. Trevor Lawrence dropped his shoulder lower than his hair hangs to pick up a first, only so that pesky little brown ball could slip out of Jamal Agnew's hands. You can thank the Cowboys, Jamal, for saving you from worse play. My best blitz pickup goes to the 5'9" Jerick McKinnon, proving to Mike McCarthy that running backs can indeed block if they aren't forced to play center.
All right, so game 1 of the divisional round is done. The Kansas City Chiefs, they move on.
Best offense, this was easily the Philadelphia Eagles. And what I loved about the Eagles game was that they scored a shit ton of points while having everyone contribute. The purest meaning of the award as the whole unit showed up. Kind of lost in the bludgeoning of the Giants, though, is that Jalen Hurts only completed one more pass than Daniel Jones and only outgained him through the air by 19 yards. Over a third of which came on the Eagles' opening series, where Dallas Goedert capped it off with a great one-handed touchdown. Now, obviously, Hurts was more impressive with his throws, made bigger plays, including a tone-setting second touchdown pass to Devontae Smith on the Eagles' second drive that had them up 14-0. But what has made the Eagles so great on offense all season long is their ability to run the ball like madmen. I'm talking peak John Hamm madmen. Hurts, 34 rushing yards, were the most by any quarterback over the weekend, and he found the end zone as well. Boston Scott got his customary touchdown against the Giants. Kenneth Gainwell finally lived up to his name and was the leading rusher in the divisional round, churning out 112 yards and a TD. Miles Sanders added another 90 on the ground. If you're wondering, that's only 20% of a mile. 268 total yards for Philly, nearly 100 more than the next best rushing team in the Bengals this weekend. And New York Scott now has 11 touchdowns in 9 games against the Giants. He's a free agent this year, and if the Giants don't sign him, it will be the biggest mistake they ever make. Remove the third string running back that only scores against you from a division opponent. And even if he never steps on the field, New York, that's a net positive. Worst game? Sorry, New York Giants, it does go to you. When the most interesting play your team executed was your quarterback losing and finding his contact on his face mask, that's a rough outing. Forget the football. Dan Jones is so precise, he won't even lose a contact. Although he did lose the ball in this game, people were more interested in the broken first down chains than the Giants' offense in this game. Safe to say, though, both Brian Dable and Josh Allen went to bed thinking about each other this weekend. Speaking of Josh Allen, worst performance? The Bills. Look, Buffalo, I wouldn't have minded had you simply lost. Everyone knows Cincy is a tough-ass team, but the game plan, the execution on both sides of the ball was your worst of the entire year. This game was so bad, Eli Apple was pretending to, sexually assault the air? Odd thing to show Jesse Bates. His last name is Bates, Eli. I think he knows how to have pretend sex with himself. Unfortunately, and this kills me, I think I have to give my worst QB award to Josh Allen. Now maybe Dan Jones technically played worse, but you're held to a higher standard, Josh. I regret that Tom Brady lost last week because I wish I could have given him this award this week to take the heat off of you, Josh. The Bengals defense did a great job containing Josh Allen, but he was also off target deep like he was last weekend. And if Josh Allen isn't clicking, the Bills offense just stalls. Dan Jones, and Dak Prescott combined for 1 touchdown pass, 4 picks, and 7 sacks. Basically an average Zach Wilson stat line. Worst moment? Well, the Bills needed to get a stop to have a chance to possibly tie this game in the fourth quarter. Buffalo had just settled for a field goal, but were only down by 7 points. Totally manageable. I blinked and the Bengals were in the red zone, and then I'm thinking, well, if they can hold Cincy to 3 points, maybe they still have a chance. After the Bengals got to the red zone, though, Buffalo committed 3 penalties in 4 plays. Pass interference, offsides, and some other dumb shit, giving the Bengals the ball on basically the inch line, all while Burrow and the boys just sat back and watched Buffalo self-destruct. A Joe Mixon TD put the game out of reach. Best team? This weekend, that goes to the Bengals. Now, I know Philly dominated, but Cincy went on the road in shitty weather and handed the Bills a loss. Joe Burrow was a slight overthrow and dropped Hayden Hurst pass away, and even a Jamar Chase touchdown pass for probably scoring 10 to 17 more points in this game. I picked Joe Burrow to be the MVP this season, and while he won't get it, even though his 35 touchdown passes were tied with Josh Allen for second most, he might be that guy in the postseason when it matters the most. He and Patrick Mahomes have the clutch gene. Most of us humans are not allowed to possess it because we will turn evil. God made a huge mistake by giving that gene to Tom Brady as well, but Joe Burrow he's responsible with that. He's like Spider-Man, okay? He knows what you do with great power. My weirdest dude? Stephon Diggs. He showed up looking like a mop, a scarecrow from Batman Begins, and ended the game yelling at his quarterback, who seemed entirely uninterested in whatever he had to say. Good thing Diggs has never wanted off a team when things got messy. And then we've got the worst injury of the weekend. Well, this had to be Cowboys running back Tony Pollard, who suffered a fractured fibula and a high ankle sprain when his leg got caught up in a tackle. Not only is the injury nasty, but maybe if Pollard doesn't go down, Dallas is able to make 1 or 2 plays on offense to change the outcome of this game because it was that close. Meanwhile, Zeke Elliott has averaged just 2.7 yards per carry in his last 4 playoff starts. So this was a huge loss for Dallas. And don't worry, Cowboys fans, even though Tony Pollard's contract expires this offseason, Zeke won't be a free agent until 2027. Best catch? I thought it was going to CeeDee Lamb, who was getting absolutely molested by Edgar Allan Poe's favorite character, Diamador Lenore. This is some textbook PI, but Lamb rolls away with the ball, only so Dallas could do nothing. In a game this close, one great play by a ball catcher could have changed it all, right? Well, hold on to your diapers because George Kittle immediately skipped that CD, juggling and avoiding what could have been a disgustingly brutal hit by dodging a defender to make the key catch of the weekend. That catch by Kittle shifted the momentum for San Francisco, aided by a Cowboys penalty in the red zone, making the second and goal essentially an automatic touchdown for run CMC, which led to my best moment in this game. When Christian McCaffrey scored that touchdown, he spiked the ball, which was followed by George Kittle calling for a fair catch, catching the ball and tossing it to 49ers legend Jerry Rice.
And offensive coordinator Shane Spikeman.
Best tackle, Robbie Gould spins around so unexpectedly that he backs up into Cavante Turpin, who might have gone the distance had Gould just acted like a normal human being in this scenario. Worst stat? The Dallas Cowboys are allergic to the NFC Championship game. They refuse to make it past the divisional round playoff. In 12 straight playoff appearances, the boys have fallen short of the NFC title game. With their last appearance in that contest dating back to 1996, the closest they got was probably the Dez Bryant no catch at Lambeau in 2014. Best defender? Fred Warner was a maniac in this game. Not only was he covering receivers 25 yards down the field like a safety, he was also blowing up run plays in the backfield. Not to mention, he came up with a huge interception off of a Jimmy Ward tip in 49ers territory, changing the tide of this game. And the biggest boner, well, I thought I might have to give the award for biggest boner to Elijah Mitchell, who had a chance to ice the game had he just slid down in bounds. But he preserved enough time for the Cowboys to mount one last drive. Unfortunately for Dallas, Dalton Schultz out-bonered Elijah Mitchell when he went out of bounds backwards with backwards momentum, causing the clock to keep rolling, and B, when he inexplicably refused to drag his foot inbounds, nullifying what should have been a catch that would have set up Dallas with a potential Hail Mary on the final play. Instead, Dallas had to run the dumbest play I've ever seen and get totally embarrassed to end their season. This was the worst play, and I've said it all year long. Ezekiel Elliott is no longer a starting caliber center in the NFL, and whatever this disaster of a play was proved me right. And my best play, now this might be controversial, but I'm giving the best play to Brett Maher, who might have shanked another extra point given the chance, but he also drilled 2 massive field goals to keep Dallas in this game. Just imagine the weight on this man's shoulders. And he still went out there and he sent a couple kicks right down the pipe in the biggest game of the season. I have no doubt that if the game had come down to an extra point, he would have found a way to kick the ball sideways, and Jerry Jones would have used that cattle gun from No Country for Old Men to cut him from. And that's it. Thanks for watching. That's Good Sports Best and Worst of the Divisional Round. Come back tomorrow for the Power Rankings episode. And oh my God, this football season's almost over. We'll have free agency. We got the XFL and of course the draft. So don't forget to keep coming back here every day.